What will you leave in the light before everything goes dark?
All right, welcome back to the Conquer Podcast. I'm Josh, joined with Ben.
Woo! What's up, everybody?
Dude, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I'm really stoked you're here.
Yeah, man.
I'm
here every week.
You are here every week. That's true. That's true. I'm glad you're on the podcast because
Yes.
you've been someone I've wanted on for a while, even before we started conceptualizing this. We've known each other a while. First is I trained you as a client. We became really good friends through that process, and we've worked on projects together.
Yep.
Really cool.
And soon to be more projects.
Soon to be more projects. Yeah, I figured we're going to touch on that a little. This will be the first time we've talked about it anywhere. But yeah, the spots that people have seen on our social, the commercial spots, you've directed those, and they're killer. And I'm so grateful that you even had time to do them with me. So thank you, man. You've been one of the biggest supporters of Conquer, so I really
feel
appreciate you.
Invested in this place.
Dude,
at a very personal level.
You even helped us move the gym, like physically move equipment here.
Hardest day of physical labor of my life.
Yeah, that was 8 gym bros and a U-Haul.
Yeah, you don't know pain until you've lifted a Smith machine.
Dude, brutal. So brutal. That whole day was... No, but thank you even for,
It was great.
for doing it. It was great. And
I
it
mean,
does help you feel like, all right, we built this new place.
And like to see the transformation of this physical space from where it started to where it is now, it's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. It takes a community, and everyone involved here has built this place brick by brick with me. So, okay, so what we're going to do today is talk about conquering, specifically something that you are currently conquering in your life.
Love that.
We like to name the fight, right?
Okay.
So we want to give it a name, whatever it is. We've talked about identity crisis on earlier podcasts. Right now, where you're at in life, what do you think you're currently conquering?
Well, I would say it's twofold. You and I talked a little bit off camera about this. The first being sort of a physical thing. We're obviously in a gym. I have been dealing with 2 bulging discs for the last 10 months, 11 months, which was the most significant injury of my life. Obviously, you and I are gym maniacs, and so injuries are going to come up. This has been the worst one I've had to deal with. And so when your body tells you, hey, slow down, you can't do what you want to do, it can be incredibly frustrating. I'm an avid runner, as you know.
Yeah, beast.
I love running. I'm an ultra runner. I think it's the only thing I have found in my life that allows my mind to totally shut off, and I can just focus on how fast do I want to run, what distance do I want to run. So I wasn't really able to run for like 6 months straight. Was dealing with really excruciating pain that I couldn't seem to escape. So that was a challenge. And then as I have worked my way back from that injury, I'm like at 80 or 90% now. Just listening to my body and figuring out the pace at which I can ramp things back up. But certainly conquering a physical injury, the worst one I've ever dealt with, has been a massive focus of mine over the last year. And it was also a reminder to me that a lot of people are dealing with things that they're conquering that most people don't know about. Right. You know, you can't see a back injury on me.
No.
And so a lot of people have no idea that I've been, I was having meetings probably 6 months ago, Zoom meetings and stuff, where like I couldn't even see straight. I was in so much pain. Nobody on the other end of that meeting knows that's what I'm going through. So it really kind of recalibrated my mindset on you never know what somebody's going through.
100%. Yeah, bulging discs are such a difficult injury to have, man, especially for someone like you who is on the go nonstop. I mean, we're talking about like you're going for like national record-breaking running thing. I mean, you are a beast when it comes to running, and to have your back, which keeps you upright and erect. I mean, sitting down, standing up. People don't realize laying down with bulging discs hurts. Everything is uncomfortable.
Literally, it's an inescapable situation. So, and then there's medical expenses and MRIs and doctor's appointments, and you're trying to manage all of that while you're, in your case, managing a business, or in my case, managing an entertainment career. And so it's been a really interesting time. And I've also sort of gotten, I think, a little bit more, I don't know, I would say more specific about my training and my fitness and my nutrition in a way that now I actually feel more in shape than I was prior to my injury. And I was already pretty locked in before.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. To your point earlier, is saying most people probably had no idea because you looked fit the whole time. I mean, even being injured, you looked like nothing was wrong as far as physically.
Little bit of ice cream weight,
yeah, tiny bit, which is to be expected, and that's okay. But you really dialed in your nutrition. I mean, that was a big change for you. Really controlling your weight and realizing, hey, you know what? I might have put on a little more muscle or weight than I wanted to. Let's pull back. And it's funny how sometimes something so difficult can lead you down the right path that you 100%. Didn't know you even needed.
Nutrition, I think, is a great thing to bring up too, as it relates to conquering a physical injury or just sort of getting more in shape. I had a lot of stuff I was navigating in my life a few years ago. The loss of a friendship, a breakup, all sorts of like personal life trauma stuff, all in a very quick succession of time. And it allowed me to sort of get back to the basics in my fitness journey. And I've always been a gym rat, but I think I was like not 100% educated enough on nutrition. I was eating out a lot. I was eating things outside of the house thinking, I'll just get a Caesar salad from Mendocino Farms. And it's like, that's actually my entire day's worth of sodium.
Right.
So I started cooking, and I never loved it. But I don't know. I think getting into my current relationship with my amazing girlfriend Nikki, we spend time cooking together. It's like sort of our relationship time together. And so I completely recalibrated my thinking around cooking. And now I cook all of our meals, and I'm dialed in on protein and fat and carbohydrates, and just like having I think a better education on it has allowed me to dial in my fitness and has really allowed me to conquer that back injury.
Yeah, I think probably even just lowering inflammation that we don't realize that we're getting from the wrong foods. There's so much inflammation in the body from the wrong stuff that we think is right sometimes.
I look at photos of me from like 3 or 4 years ago, and I literally look like a different human being.
You do.
And it's exclusively because of nutrition. Because I'm working out the same way.
Yeah, you're still just as strong too, which is, I think, the most surprising part. I mean, you haven't fallen off at all.
Yeah, so...
You kind of knew that you'd hurt your back, but what was the day when you realized, hey, this is changing my lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also it's a great question because I feel like you come face to face with your own sort of aging, getting older. Like I'm 41 now, and I think the way that I navigate injury now is way different than when I was working out like a maniac when I was 21. When I was 21, I would tweak my back here or there, and I'm better in 3 days. So in my head, I'm like, I still feel super young. I'm going to recover. And I would say about a month in, things were getting worse, not better with my injury. And I thought, oh, man, like the me of 20 years ago would have sort of started to feel better by now. That's when I knew something was sort of seriously wrong. But I am stubborn, and I had to listen to a lot of loved ones in my life to finally get that MRI like months later. And but I would say there was no like one specific moment, but it was more of a duration thing that after about 3 weeks to a month, I was like, oh man, this is serious business. I got to really figure things out. I did PT and all sorts of things. And I also think, while we've been speaking about the concept of conquering a physical thing in the midst of sort of an existential entertainment career aspect. I would say it's sort of twofold, because that's the other thing I've been conquering is the entire economics of the entertainment industry have changed and shifted really in the last 10 years, but certainly since the pandemic. And, I think I'm a perfect example. I was pretty comfy as the lead of multiple Nickelodeon animated series over the course of like a decade. Before the pandemic, recurring on 3 on-camera shows at the same time. And then all that kind of shifted. The economics have all changed. The future now, I believe, is totally independent. I am sort of navigating the weird direction that Hollywood and the entertainment industry has taken by working to independently produce my own movie. And And that's something I'm really locked in on. I feel like you're the same way, which is you presented with an obstacle, a challenge, a change in direction, and it's like, all right, well, let's figure it out. And so I think it's been interesting to sort of navigate a physical injury and sort of a creative change in direction all at the same time.
Yeah, the industry thing has been so interesting to watch. Growing up, born and raised in Burbank, where all the studios have always been, and then getting so close with certain people, you know, like you, I mean, you check all the boxes, you do all the things that you're supposed to do to get to a place. That you get to that place.
Yeah.
I mean, you realistically were pretty much at the top. I mean, we would drive by Nickelodeon and see your character on the building next to SquarePants, and that was a big deal. And then it just shifted, and it hit everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, and the whole city feels it too.
You feel it in the gym.
You do.
People that were actively working in the animation industry down the street are finding entire new lines of work now because of the way the landscape in entertainment has so dramatically shifted. And so, look, I will say this. I think there's a lot of people right now who've been kind of sitting in this sort of doom and gloom negativity about the entertainment industry for a while. And we can continue to do that. However, I don't think that serves anybody. So I think it's like, okay, yes, that all sucks, but what are we going to do about it? And for me, it's always make shit. Make shit.
Yeah.
Just create.
Yeah.
I have never made anything and regretted it. So I believe our way out of the sort of entertainment doldrums or whatever right now is to lock in creatively and to make shit. It's the same, and it's that same sort of gym mentality that we both have. Like, oh, you want me to go lift that? Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. You know, you're the prime example of pivoting, and I think that's what when you're conquering something and you come up against something, you're just, man, I can't get past this or around it. You have to pivot.
You have to.
It's so crucial that you pivot, and pivoting into what you can control. You can't control things outside of the realm of, you know, your possibility or your skill set. But you are very good at being like, you know what, if you're taking this from me, I'm just going to go build this.
I also think it's really critically important now more than ever to be a multi-hyphenate. You know, I think 20 years ago, I think I had reservations about telling anybody I did anything other than a TV actor. I'm a TV actor. That's the only thing I do. I don't want anyone conflating it with anything else.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's such an advantage to wear multiple hats. You know, you do the same. You're hosting a podcast while owning a business, while training clients, and maybe launching a supplement brand, and maybe, producing a documentary.
Yay.
I think that we have to wear those multiple hats, and that is our way to keep moving the ball forward. So for me, I'm not just an actor now. I'm a director. I'm a producer. I'm a writer. A content creator. I'm a creative person. I think 20 years ago, I would have labeled myself as just an actor. Now I say, I just want to make cool shit with my friends.
Yeah. And I was going to touch on that too. You know, not only is pivoting important when you're conquering community, right? That's the big thing with us. That's the big thing with this podcast. Again, you are one of those people that uses their community so well. It's coming together and collaborating. Hey, you have this skill set. Great. I have this skill set. Let's just start building what we can build. No one needs to give us permission.
Get on the hype train.
We can do anything we want.
We have to.
Yeah, we are capable of doing anything we need to do. And I've always respected you so much for having that mindset.
I mean, you and I are wired very similarly.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, look, to that point, I'm putting together this table read for the feature that my writing partner and I are writing. And we're figuring out a way to sort of independently finance it and produce this film. And the first step is hearing it out loud with a cast of friends and fellow colleagues and actors. And it was very humbling. We put out an invite for this event, and within an hour we were at capacity, and we're looking to like add chairs and audience members and stuff. And to your point, it's about building, cultivating, and maintaining a community of people around you, especially when we've all gone to remote meetings. And you know, my writing partner and I've been developing a show for a while, and like we're all, you know, we've all been on disparate sort of computer screens to have our meetings for this project. And you know, I miss being in person. So anytime that there's an opportunity to sort of get in person, collaborate in person, I think we gotta leap to that opportunity.
I agree 100%. I can't wait for that table read. I've never been to one, so
be fun.
it was excited to get invited to something I've never been to. Okay, so you do all the right things, right? I mean, you have
Not all of them, but I try.
You've come out. I mean, you pivot well. You reach out to people that you know can help you, and you are always willing to help everybody too. Let's make that clear too. You are very available to your friends, and
Thanks,
I
man.
appreciate that. What do you think the back or even the career stuff has kind of cost you?
I would say the biggest thing that my girlfriend would tell you this, the biggest thing I'm trying to navigate in my life, which I have not perfected yet, is time management. And what I mean by that is when you are a multi-hyphenate and when you are trying to accomplish 20 things all at the same time, is when to prioritize life and when to prioritize work. Mm-hmm. And I am a workaholic. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. every day and I'm getting a run in and I'm going to the gym and sometimes I'm doing 2-a-day workouts.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is to heal the back. A lot of that is to clear the mind. And then, like this morning, I think I probably had 10,000 steps done before 7 a.m. So that takes some time. The cost of that is when do I go to bed? When are we going to spend some time together as a couple to have dinner or to go to a movie or just like have real life time? So I think that the cost of this hustle culture that I am willingly in and want to be in is learning when to dial back from my workaholic tendencies to also invite in real life. A game night with friends, a catch-up coffee with a friend, a trip. I can be better at that, and I think it's going to be a lifelong process for me of trying to figure out where to find those boundaries about work. Because for me, and you probably feel the same about Conquer, it's not work.
Yeah, it's not.
I want to write. Yeah. I want to create. I want to audition. I want to make stuff, and so it's hard to like close the laptop at the end of the night or not schedule that third or fourth meeting in the day because I want to.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. You think, that the balancing a relationship, is definitely tough when, it's funny if you'd say workaholic. I don't know that I even feel like a workaholic. I just love creating
It doesn't
stuff.
feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah,
but so many people call me workaholic and I'm like, I don't love working. I love creating.
Yeah.
I just want to create stuff and talk to people and brainstorm. But my wife is very similar to Nikki, where she's like, hey, we got to take a trip. I'm like, right.
I think there are two kinds of people in the world. There are people who choose what they do, and there are people who are what they do. And I think you and I are what we do. Like it's not work. It's just like we just want to hustle and make stuff and keep growing and building. And non-creative people or people that aren't necessarily entrepreneurs, no shade, but sometimes they don't understand that.
Right.
Some people want to clock in at their 9 to 5 and call it a day, and that's that.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I know a lot of people back home that I went to high school with who are like really satisfied doing that and have full, rich, amazing lives doing that. I'm just not wired that way.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 100%. All right, next we're going to go into what is something that you've learned along the way that you didn't know when this started. So when the back condition first started, or the career shift too. I mean, I think a lot of panic happened originally with that, obviously. What's something looking back that you know now?
That's a really good question. Well, I guess I'll give you two answers. The first related to the back injury. I would say I know now to listen to my body a little bit more, to trust when my body is telling me to slow the fuck down, that I listen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm wired to just keep pushing and keep going until I physically can't.
Yep.
So learning to listen to my body, to acknowledge that I'm not 21, as annoying as that is, I think is a really important step in continuing to heal my injury and preventing injuries moving forward. Relating to the career stuff, I think I have grown an even bigger appreciation, and I would say a skill for being able to pivot. I've had a lot of success in animation, but I would never classify myself as just a voice actor. Yeah. I've had a lot of success on camera, but I would never classify myself as just like an on-camera actor. I've get a lot of directing opportunities, but I'm not just a director. So I think by learning to adapt, by learning to say yes to opportunities, that's probably the biggest thing, honestly, is adapting a yes and improv perspective as an actor in everything in life. Yes and is just a philosophy in life. Just radical acceptance of what's being thrown at you and what can I add to it.
Yeah.
And that has never led me astray. And so I think just solidifying that yes and perspective on life, the future's bright because of it.
I love that. Yes, and I have a similar thing in entrepreneurship where I'm afraid of what if. I will take any opportunity because I don't want to think about what if I don't.
Yeah.
I'm going to accept everything that I can because it's given to me. If you're presenting me with an opportunity, universe, God, anybody, I'm going to take it because I don't want to wonder.
Yeah.
And that yes, and I like that perspective.
Yeah. When I say yes to stuff, like, I've never been like, oh God, I shouldn't have done that. Right. I could say like, oh, that sucked, but I'm glad I said yes.
Yeah.
And I've done, I mean, look at half of my TV resume.
Yeah.
Half
You
of
have
it is
been
shit
in
that
a ton.
I don't want people to watch. But yeah, I think you just got to say yes to stuff and see where it ultimately leads you. And that's also kind of the like gym maniac perspective too, of just like, okay, let's push it a little bit further. Let's lift a little heavier. Let's run a little farther. And constantly pushing ourselves and our bodies to do things that we didn't think was possible. Maybe that's also short man mentality for me. It's like, I'm going to try and
I
lift
can
heavier than
relate.
everybody else.
Yeah, with my vision, I can relate.
Yeah.
You can tell me no, I'm going to show you yes.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to ask you a question that I feel like we ask a certain way in culture a lot, and it's what would you tell your younger self? But I want to flip it. I want to know what yourself in the beginning of this would tell you now. Like, what do you think the version of you that was right before the back injury or when the career was going on, what do you think that person would look at you where we're at now and say?
I mean, at every stage of my past, and maybe you feel the same, I like to sort of check in and reflect and look at progress. I think progress is not necessarily measured in a week or even a month or even a year sometimes, right? And I think injury healing is a great example. When I was in like the worst bit of this back injury, it felt like I was never going to get better.
Yeah.
And you got to remind yourself this is going to improve, and I've got to work at that improvement.
Yeah.
2 times a day, PT exercises, 10,000 steps a day throughout my neighborhood, nonstop, no matter what. Progressively adding more weight to what I can do on like a deadlift, for example. Knowing when to sort of dial back at the gym, when I need to just say, hey, I can't run for 8 miles straight right now. I'm going to just do 2 miles here, 3 miles there, and then call it. So I would say measuring progress has to be sort of a bird's eye level experience. And the same is true in life, right? Sometimes I get hung up on, oh God, I wish I would have booked that job I auditioned for, or I wish I would have landed that directing gig that I submitted a treatment for. But if you zoom out, like 18-year-old Ben would be pretty pumped.
Yeah.
Live in a great house in Toluca Lake, right down the street from Warner Brothers, got an amazing relationship, drive a great car, got a cool resume, have cool plans and goals and projects, have great friends, generally in shape, fit, not bad.
Yeah, I think that Ben would be very proud.
Yeah, he'd be pretty pumped.
You've handled so many of this, so many of these things so well.
Thanks, man.
And we've talked through them all the last couple years. I know it's been very daunting, but I look at you as someone who's conquered a lot.
Thanks, man.
I really respect you for being able to persevere and move forward and to learn on the fly and to structure your day and your life for your goals.
Yeah.
And, we all let it get to us in the beginning. You kind of feel like, man, this is the worst thing ever, and then you work your way out of that, and you have worked your way out of it, man.
Thanks, man. I mean, look, like everything's relative to your own problems, right? Like you've been dealing with vision issues your entire life. Like you're legally blind. Like that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a little inconvenient.
That's inconvenient. But you persevere, you create an empire, you create this incredible business. Like you're at, we keep talking every week that I'm here, how many gym memberships you're at now. And you've got like tons of members now.
Yeah.
It's really impressive to see. So yeah, just conquering those obstacles, baby. It's what we do.
That's what we do. I think the last thing we're going to touch on, just because I have you here and I haven't talked about it with anybody else anywhere, is you and I are going to be working on another project together.
Let's go.
We're going to shoot a documentary. And we're going to prep for a show and kind of go through what conquering is and my founder's story with conquering. And you were the first person I called or texted, hey, can we meet for coffee tomorrow? I need to talk to someone who understands this. And man, to your credit, you made me feel so good about that meeting when I left. I was nervous. I've never shot a documentary.
This would be great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
It's a really compelling story. I mean, you are a legally blind bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That is like, that's not many words I just said, but a compelling story that I want to follow and root for that person and watch that person succeed. So I think it's a really interesting story. And, as we've gotten more into documentary filmmaking and unscripted stuff over the last few years at my company, like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm stoked and scared, but we're gonna do it anyways, like we do everything.
Hell yeah!
All right, let's wrap it up. Ben, thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate your time, man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do this again, I'm sure, together. We're gonna keep creating things. Follow.
And until then, we'll keep lifting things.
You're gonna keep lifting heavy things always. Keep conquering always. Until then, like, follow, share, please subscribe. Let us know your stories of conquering in the comments. We want to know. We only grow from learning from each other. This is Ben, Josh. This is Conquer Podcast. Thank you so much. Until next time. Peace.